So Necessary Evil continues in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue 41. And issue 41 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was a lot of world building and checking up on Jason, Trini and Zack and what they've been doing with the Peace Conference. So the issue opens up with Dane watching footage from the last issue where the Rangers were fighting the Eagle monster that opened up with issue 40 last month. And he's basically watching the footage, learning their fighting style and saying that they've got no planning, they've got no strategy, they just go with the flow. And he's keeping a close eye on that where he wants to watch all of the footage of Zed's failures where they destroyed the monster of the day, and he wants to have a look at them so he can learn their weaknesses and see what they're all about. So whatever Dane has planned, he's got something big because he's sort of teased on issue 43. He's shadowed out, you don't really see him on the cover of issue 43. He was sort of silhouetted out because of spoilers, but now that we know that Dane is hunting the Rangers, I get the feeling that's him on the cover. So this issue picks up where we last left off at the end of issue 40 where Zack, Trini and Jason, they're a little bit off grid, and this issue mostly focuses on what they've been doing in Switzerland. I say that with quotation marks because they're very, very off planet. They're off somewhere in the galaxy helping distant planets, because what happened, it's really hard to explain and we don't have a full explanation. We just know that Jason, Trini and Zack, they're helping people and making some sort of refugee camp for them, for people who got their world destroyed, it seems like. And it's a really fun planet. I mean, you see the aliens bonding with Trini, calling her Trini, which I pointed out in the live reaction where they spell it tree and then knee. That was kind of adorable, to be honest. And there's a brand new character that's introduced, or a few brand new characters that are introduced this issue. One of them is called Kia, and her design looks very, very interesting. She kind of reminds me of the Atlantean princess from Atlantis, that Disney movie, if anyone remembers that. I get the feeling that a lot of people are too young to remember that, but that's what her design kind of looks like for me. And she's a Omega Ranger as well. She's the blue Omega Ranger, and her blue shading for the Omega Ranger is kind of like navy blue, sort of like Tori from Ninja Storm. So it's kind of that shading of blue. So Jason, Trini and Zack, they're not at the Peace Conference in Switzerland, they're off the galaxy spreading peace amongst the universe. So they kind of are at a peace conference, it's just on an intergalactic level. So they're brand new Rangers. There's this covert Black Ops teams of Rangers where they go across planet to planet helping people. It's really, really interesting, and I do like what they're doing here, but I get the feeling there's a bigger motive behind it, why they were picked for this, because I know a lot of people were upset when they said there was no peace conference the whole time. The comic sort of retconned it and did its own thing with it, which is really, really interesting. I mean, the comic is its own universe compared to the TV show, but what they're doing is very, very interesting, and I can't wait to see more answers about what they're actually doing, because I get the feeling we're going to get a full answer in between Go-Go and Mighty Morphin, because the Blue Emissary is in this issue, and not the Blue Morphin Master. I called him the Blue Morphin Master in my Go-Go review, and people corrected me in the comment section, and they said I can understand why you got it confused. But anyway, the Blue Emissary, he's a very, very interesting character. He's very mysterious, and we still don't know anything about him. We know one of them is called Shy. I don't know if that's the robot. They've got this little alpha robot that kind of looks like one of the robot from Portals, which is another interesting design. So lots of things is going on in this issue. So they're moving from planet to planet helping people, and I get the feeling whatever the Blue Emissary wants Jason to do in Go-Go, it's going to relate to whatever we get in Mighty Morphin. Like, we're going to see the in-between points and the bridge being closed off to see how we got from there to here. But I really, really do like the designs for the Omega Rangers. There's one important thing to point out. When they morph, they say Omega Earth Power, Omega Air Power, Omega Fire Power, Omega Water Power. So these Rangers have some sort of elemental power, which is really, really interesting. And they do jokingly say they're ninjas, so I don't know if that's a reference to Ninja Storm, because they were Power Rangers of elements as well. So I don't know if that's a reference or just a coincidence, but when they morph, they say Omega now, Omega forever. And I really, really do like these designs. They do have that space vibe feel to it, like space vibey feel to it, and they do look really, really interesting. I really do like the design of the Omega Rangers. They do look really cool. The helmets look really cool. I gotta say that. The helmets look really, really cool to me indeed. And the Morpher, I gotta talk about the Morpher. because the Morpher are sort of like these knuckle busters they have on their wrists. They've got these glove knuckle busters going across their hand, and they look really interesting. I do like the design for it. They're not like a Morpher like you get in the show. They're not like a phone. They're not like a cheeseburger Morpher. They're like really interesting. They do have a different design compared to what we've seen in Power Rangers. It kind of does look like the Solar Tricks, but Ryan has stated in several interviews and on the Ranger Danger podcast, this is not related to the Solar Tricks or the Solar Ranger power. This is entirely new, and in this issue you learn that these are entirely new. They're the Omega Rangers, not the Solar Rangers, so I wonder if the Solar Ranger will show up again in Mighty Morphin or Go-Go, who knows, but their designs for these suits are really interesting. So our 4 Rangers go off to a distant planet where they fight this bad guy called Vox, and Vox is this big juggernaut beefcake looking of a dude. He looks really interesting, but the Rangers make mincemeat of him and they kick his butt really quickly, and like the exchange of dialogue is very interesting because Jason says, "I know what happened to you one day. You woke up with power beyond your control. That's because you're connected to something we call the Morphin grid." I don't know how he's connected to the Morphin grid. They don't really explain it, but they say, "We find others just like you and we bring them to a place called Safe Haven." So are there people from across the universe getting all these different powers connected to the Morphin grid? He doesn't morph. He doesn't exactly morph, but I get the feeling he got some sort of power boost because he's connected to the Morphin grid. How is he connected to the Morphin grid? They don't explain it, which is the big mystery, and that's what I really like. They don't explain it, but before we can get an explanation, they kick his butt. He wants to fight back and he gets his butt kicked. He'll get his butt kicked really easily by Kai, and it's a really cool fight. I gotta admit, the artwork in this issue is really good. Once again, Danielle knocks it out of the park, and also the inker and the colorer. They have a really good choice of interesting colors for this arc, because they fight against what's his face? Vox is on a different planet, and it's raining. So for the rain, they've got these dark, muddy colors in the background, and the rain looks really nice on them. And then when they do the fight, they've got these bright contrast colors as they dash towards each other. Even on the planet they're on, when you learn about the planet that Jason, Trini, and Zack are on, it's really well drawn, and the colors and the contrast make it stand out really well. So Vox is defeated easily, and they seal him away in this weird looking container. Sort of like how Rita got sealed by Lord Zed at the start of Season 2, but I have no idea what's going on. They're just capturing bad guys and they're putting them away, because the Blue Emissary, he doesn't want anyone's, the Blue Emissary, something's up with him. Something's going on with this guy, because he has this interesting speech at the end going, "The universe nearly died because of Herbus, and because of the actions of one disturbed individual." He's talking about Lord Drakon. Okay, I know I'm going all over the place. So, whatever happened, we know Shattered Grid happened, and the emissaries are very paranoid what happened, because one disturbed individual caused the destruction of many worlds for many people. And they say, we don't want the universe to never be shattered again. So what they're doing, they're going to different worlds and just sealing up all these villains that could be a problem. And the final shot, the final ending shot, is a really interesting reveal where they've got all these bad guys. I assume they're all these bad guys that Jason, Trini, and Zack and Kai have defeated, and they're sealed away in this room. So whatever happened, or whatever's going on, the Blue Emissary, or the Morphin Master emissaries, whatever's going on with him, or maybe it's just the blue one, because he's the one giving orders so far from what we've seen. He doesn't want the grid to be shattered again, so he's just collecting all the bad guys who might be in danger. They don't want another Lord Drakon on their hands, so they're just capturing whoever might be a threat who's got powers connected to the Morphin grid. They don't want to have any more bad guys on their plate, so he's just capturing anyone who might go out of control one day and just snap like Lord Drakon and cause the universe to be endangered again. So I get the feeling the emissaries are very paranoid with what happened in Shattered Grid and after the universe got restored, because it's an interesting last panel. I mean, I didn't have much of a reaction, but I'm very confused what he's got planned going on, and I guess we'll find out in issue 42 and whatever's going to happen in issue 22 of Go-Go. Like, it's just a weird ending page, and I'm left scratching my head. But anyways, that's my review of issue 41 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It was a very, very interesting issue, because things are still getting set up with everything going on. I still have no idea what's going on with this Necessary Evil stuff. I'm sure we'll find out more stuff later down the line, because Necessary Evil could mean a lot of things. It could mean Zed, it could mean Dane, it could mean the Blue Emissary, it could mean all these villains showing up. We have no idea what it means, and whatever Ryan's got planned for this story arc, I'm very, very interested what he's got planned, because yeah, I'm left scratching my head trying to figure out what he's got planned next. I mean, this is what I loved about Shattered Grid. You had no idea what direction it's going to go in, and I could say the same thing about Necessary Evil. We have no idea which way it's going to go on, because it's this crossover comic event. We know that the stories will intertwine eventually, but how are we going to get there? That's the main question. How are we going to get there? But anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap things up here. If you're new to this channel and you're just checking it out, I do Power Ranger reviews of the comics, Go-Go Power Rangers and Mighty Morphin, Beast Morph reviews, random Power Ranger theories, all kinds of Power Rangers related stuff. But anyways, I'm going to wrap things up here. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.